Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Farooq Hassan is back with a brand new episode of Sky is the Limit. Viewers, today I am sitting at the Federal Directorate of Religious Education, which is an institution under the Federal Ministry of Education. This is a newly found initiative of the government, and today I am going to introduce to you the first ever Director General of this institution. I also happens to be one of my teachers, a true inspiration for a lot of people, Major General retired Dr. Ghulam Qamar. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you for coming, and I'm really pleased to have you in the office. It's an honor to meet you, and it's a pleasure having you around and introduce this newly formed directorate, which has a gigantic task of reforming madrasas all over Pakistan.
That's a very interesting topic, but let me tell you, sir, it's an honor for me. I have had the honor of listening to you a lot many times, formally, informally, but I would also like my viewers to listen to your views and your success story, that you've continued the journey, and now like you're the first Director General of this institution, and what impact this is going to have on our madrasas, on our religious education, and what betterment it's going to bring. So let's first of all start with your early life. Would you like to tell us something about your early childhood, your schooling, and how did you find this love for Pak Army?
Okay, thank you. I think early life I would start from the school age.
Yeah.
And my school from where I'm educated was located next to the madrasa in Raiwind, which is very famous, the madrasa of Tablighi Jamaat.
Oh, okay.
So for some time I studied in Central Model School, Lahore also.
Okay, that's a very famous school.
Very famous school as well. My education is, I would say, I was not a very outstanding academic student.
Okay.
I was most of the time a player.
So you were not the first top 3 students of the
Oh,
class?
not at all.
Okay.
Not
the
ever
backbencher
in any class. Though I was not backbencher, I
Okay.
was
Average category.
a frontliner.
Okay.
But I used to be famous for my sports
Oh, okay.
and for all extracurricular activities that could be in the school.
Okay.
It had 2 objectives.
Okay.
One objective was to avoid classes, and the second was to enjoy my own time.
That's very intelligent, I must say.
So it was. So I did my matric from there. I was very fond of speeches, so I was member of my school's declamation society. I was also chief scout of my school, from where the love for army started.
Okay.
And more than an average student, you can say.
Okay.
But I was in the lead role. Everyone really knew me as far as my education.
So you
is
didn't have
concerned.
any family in the forces? Your father, your uncles? No one.
We are basically from Gwalmandi, Lahore.
Oh, okay.
The interior part of
Yeah.
Lahore. So the culture of interior part of Lahore is little open. Most of the businessmen at that time, they lived there. And there was nobody in the army from my family, even not from that locality, once I joined army. So my love started with the army in the class 7.
Class 7, okay.
Class 7, my mother died, and my brought up was from my grandmother.
Okay.
And that tragedy at a very early stage of
Must
life
have had a
actually
major impact on you.
had a major impact on my life. And since I was a member of the school, Bazm-e-Adab Society, debating society, so I had a lot of love for Iqbal.
Oh, okay.
And because my all speeches would have its baseline from Iqbal.
The inspiration you used to draw was from
And let me
Iqbal's
tell
poetry.
you, whatever I am today and whatever I did in my life is the result of one verse of Iqbal. It will be very interesting for you to know and for the viewers
Sir.
to know. And that was अपने मन में डूब के पाजा सुरागे जिंदगी तू अगर मेरा नहीं बनता न बन apna to band.
Be sincere to
Would you
yourself.
imagine a student of 7th class meditating on this one verse of Iqbal?
Oh.
To that a depth that what I am, identify myself, because I had no mother.
Wow.
That parental feeling wasn't there.
The vacuum was there.
The vacuum, big vacuum was there. And the entire world was in front.
And were you that philosophical in grade 7?
That's what I'm trying to tell you, that I still recall that in most of the declamation contests I used to be number 1.
Oh, okay.
No boasting about myself, but it was only because of the poetry of Iqbal that I loved. And this one verse became actually the foundational stone of this entire edifice that was to build later on.
Wow.
And I started introducing myself to others that what I am. Allah ने अशरफुल मखलूक़ात बनाया है तो क्यों बनाया है?
क्यों बनाया? Logic. What's the logic?
What I am actually. And slowly and gradually, once I started focusing on my studies, I started doing well in studies. I started playing cricket. I started playing hockey. And I thought that I had so many abilities really that very few students of that school had at that time. So did my matric, then went to Government College, Railway Road, and studied there. Again, I was in the cricket team, I was in the hockey team, I was in all extracurricular activities. Sporty, and some emphasis, yes,
On education.
on education also. But I had a dream that I will be something. I will be something.
You believed in yourself.
Yep. And that belief got developed because of that verse of Iqbal. And then I made up my mind that I'll join army. And
So no one,
no
influenced
guidance, no influence, no inspiration.
you. Out of your own, you decided that, you're going to
I
join.
started, it will be amazing for you to know that as a student of first year, I had studied all 7 books of Naseem Ijazi.
Oh, wow.
And that was my inspiration, actually.
The historic battles.
For many people today, it sounds illogical, it sounds superficial, it sounds unrealistic. But for me, that was all because of which I got inspired. And that is what actually brought me to realize that probably I got to be a soldier. Once I studied Tipu Sultan or Talwar Toot Gayi, once I studied Khakar Khoon on the partition,
Yeah.
once I studied the early ages of Muslims, I got convinced that probably there is a soldier inside me. I applied and I got selected in OTS 11th and became a cadet, passed out, alhamdulillah, on merit in the top bracket, and got the unit of my own choice. 8th Frontier Force was a unit, or is a unit, with a brilliant history. At one time, once I joined, it had 4 governors. Governor Sindh was General Rahman Gul, Governor Balochistan was K.K. Afridi, Governor Punjab was General Jilani, all from my unit.
And at one given point in time.
At one given point in time. And I thought it is the best unit of the army, so I joined.
You could see
infantry.
yourself as a future governor.
Oh yes, I didn't see as a governor, but I did see that yes, there is a unit with a brilliant history.
Okay.
So I joined 8th Frontier Force Regiment, which was then at Landikotal. So early 3.5 years I spent seeing in front of me how the Russian helicopters attacked Mujahideens at that time, how battles around Torkham took place. So I spent a lot of time as a youngster on the
Afghanistan
Afghan
Soviet.
border,
Yeah. Okay.
and saw Afghanistan being liberated from USSR. Those were the early days. But then the military career started. And again I would reiterate the same verse of Iqbal that was my inspiration, that अपने मन में डूब के पा जा सुरागे जिंदगी तू अगर मेरा नहीं बनता न बन अपना तो बन.
Look into
So
yourself
I
and discover
started
yourself.
discovering myself in my basic courses. I did exceptionally well. Came back to my unit, worked a lot with my troops, ran around with them, played around with them, and enjoyed the early life what a youngster as a lieutenant, as a captain would have. And I forgot all about my childhood, inadequacies, you can say, and started participating even in the army in declamation contest, and I reached to high level. I also started playing squash, tennis, and I was
Good in all these games.
good game, good sportsman in all these games. So early year were full of adventure, full of hard work, full of commitment, full
So
of
work hard,
dedication.
play hard. That was your philosophy.
Oh yeah, and my seniors, my commanding officers, they guided me very well. Thanks to them, that there was no distinction between a third generation officer and a second generation officer, a good career officer or a bad career officer, whatever you say. My unit is known as Bhaibands. And Bhaibands is those who live like this.
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. So
Yeah.
we live like this, Until today we live like this.
Awesome.
So that again got a very inspirational kind of a
So you
unit.
must have had some very exciting, appointments during your career in the army.
Yes, to start with in the unit is adjutant, as a captain. Then I was posted in the first ever established school in Chor, Desert Warfare School of the Army. I was the first instructor posted there. I also served as grade 3 appointment staff
G3.
officer in a brigade headquarters at Khariya, and then subsequently I became instructor in Pakistan Military Academy.
Oh.
And you will be
That's quite an
surprised
honor.
to know that on that very, I would say, inspirational appointment, I had 2 platoons to teach in my 2 years tenure, and both produced Sword of Honors. That may be unique in the history of PMA.
Wow. It has never happened before, is it?
I didn't hear of it.
You don't recall.
And both produced Sword of Honor. So that I do not consider it my accomplishment, but I think the line of action that I used to give to my cadets was again that you can do what you can think.
Same
Because
Iqbal's philosophy.
Same philosophy worked over there also. That apne man mein
Look
doob
into
ke
yourself, discover yourself,
discover
and believe in yourself.
And then that impact was on the cadets also. They thought they can do anything that they can think. So that is how they produced excellent
What a
results.
wonderful thought. Yeah.
And with that thought, I then did my staff course, did well, and commanded a unit along line of control in Kashmir during escalation 2001 and 2, did well. Thereafter, I was posted as instructor in Command and Staff College, Quetta. I didn't remain instructor there for 2 years. And again, my students, Alhamdulillah, carried this philosophy along.
They did well.
That you can do what you
think.
can think.
Yep.
And then I did my war course, did well, and I was the junior most brigadier of the army.
Wow.
Retained as instructor in War College in the
okay.
National Defense
So
University.
your passion for academia was always
It
there?
was there. There was an instructor inside me.
Right from
the beginning.
the day you joined?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after my instructorship, I commanded the brigade in Lahore, and then the war on terror was at peak. I went to North Waziristan,
Oh, okay.
served there as a brigadier, got promoted, and went to SWAT.
GOC. Yeah.
GOC SWAT.
Yeah.
An assignment which was really challenging.
A very troubled area at that time.
Troubled area, and there was actually the challenge which I faced was that how to make people of SWAT believe that you can come back, you can recover, and there is a peace in SWAT. You need to realize yourself. Again, that inspiration started
From Iqbal.
From Iqbal, and I started with that passion. We generated very good economic activity in Swat, Snow Festival, Kalam Festival. So people started feeling more confidence that yes, there is peace in Swat. The economic activity generated during my time. That was my focus actually, because once the prosperity creeps in, the adventurism recedes. So that prosperity brought actually peace in Swat. And then people felt confident. It became a model, not only within Pakistan, but outside Pakistan.
Okay.
I happened to visit number of countries. By the way, I visited 43 countries of the world.
You posted abroad also with UN, right? United.
That was as a captain, as a major,
Initial.
young major in 93, 94.
Where was that?
I was
Which
Somalia.
place? Somalia.
I was in Somalia.
How was your experience there?
Somalia was a good experience because once we went to Somalia, Pakistan had suffered heavily on a UN mission ever because there were 16 casualties of one unit. The Pakistani brigade was so well respected by Somalis. It had its name, and our unit was responsible for the North Mogadishu. We had wonderful time there, lot of respect that we enjoyed in the United Nations as a contingent, lot of respect Pakistanis as an overall contingent in the Committee of Nations enjoyed in Somalia, because it was a troubled land and the Pakistanis participated the maximum and contributed the maximum. So you can give the credit of bringing peace in Somalia to Pakistan under the banner of United Nations, of course. It was a wonderful experience to interact with other nations and realize that how good is Pakistan Army, its training, its systems, its troops. It was a wonderful experience. Coming back to Swat. So we brought peace, established Swat, and then I was posted to GHQ in directorate of which was actually dealing with doctrine development and evaluation. So again, a sort of an academic
role. Yeah.
So
and you were okay with that because
after
okay. Swat was a hardcore battlefield.
Oh yes.
At that time.
I contributed a lot there as well because it introduced new procedures of evaluation and how to prepare units for the sub-conventional warfare. I'm also the author of sub-conventional warfare doctrine for Pakistan Army.
Wow.
A unique honor, alhamdulillah, that I had. And from there on, I went to ISRA in NDU, back to square one again on an academic appointment where I had the honor to interact with you also.
So that's very kind. That was the first time I was introduced to you.
Yes, we met, and from there on, I retired, and my passion actually to excel academically also came along that way, and I started my PhD from UK.
You know, your title is very deceptive in the sense that most of the people think that you're probably from the Army Medical Corps.
Yes, I'm not an MBBS doctor,
but yeah, exactly.
But I'm a PhD doctor.
Yeah. So you've actually done your PhD, right? You're a
So once I was in ISRA, I thought of doing PhD, and I retired in 2017.
Okay.
And I got admission in Cranfield University, Shevnam in UK.
Okay.
And the title that I chose for myself again was inspired by my tenure in Swat. Because there I was running 2 de-radicalization centers. The captured prisoners, they were actually put through a 3 months program.
Reform program.
A reform program.
Rehab kind of.
Rehab sort of program. And they were given some skill sets so that they could perform well in the society, live a normal life, and leave extremism. So I selected the subject which was again
linked to that.
Linked to the de-radicalization. The title of my PhD is Role of Pakistan's Education System in the processes of radicalization and de-radicalization. Because there I realized that our three different streams of education, that is public sector education system, private sector and the madrasas,
religious.
They actually do not provide equal opportunities to their graduates.
And they are not the same syllabi.
They are not the same, they don't go through the same syllabi. They have different sets of subjects and different opportunities. So that polarized education system needed to bridge the gap.
And you had that experience in Swat, so you decided to put it to use.
Exactly. So I got an opportunity in the form of this directorate.
Yep.
Because after the APS incident, if you remember,
Yes.
in 2014,
Yes.
Pakistan laid a lot of emphasis on National Action Plan,
Yes.
which got evolved after that.
Yes.
And during the National Action Plan formulation, it came out that we need to reform our religious education also, the madrasas as well. A lot of work has been done earlier also, even during Janab Parvez Musharraf's time. A madrasa education board was made to reform madaris, but that couldn't take off because of many factors around. So it was actually in 2017, 2018, once the discussion between the government and various wafaks that took place, series of discussions actually, that how we need to reform our madrasas and make the madrasa students more useful members of the society. And that was actually the focus of my PhD also. So thereafter, it is in August 2019 that a pact was signed by the Ittihad Tanzeemul Madaris Pakistan and the Ministry of Federal Education that we will reform madaris by introducing contemporary education.
This pact was signed by the government and
the Ittihad Tanzeemul Madaris,
Okay.
the organization which has actually all religious education centers in Pakistan.
And this was signed in 2019,
August 2019.
And that actually led way for creation of this
actually,
institution.
It was through the cabinet actually. The
Okay.
cabinet approved this initiative.
Okay.
And then this directorate was formed in 2019.
Okay, so I will come back to that. So this directorate was formed, and then how did you come into place, and what role are you playing, and what are the terms of reference or the scope of this institution? But right now we have to take a short break. Viewers, we are in conversation with the Major General retired Dr. Ghulam Qamar, a very, very interesting and an inspirational personality. We're going to take a short break and be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back, viewers. We are in conversation with Major General retired Dr. Ghulam Qamar, and we are here at the Directorate of Religious Education. So, sir, before the break we were talking that this directorate was established in 2019 after the cabinet approved its formation. Where did you come in the picture?
Let me tell you that this initiative is very unique, and very few people know about this.
Okay.
There has been tremendous effort to reform madrasas since 1947.
Yeah.
And various reform agendas were given by various governments. But this government had a very, very meaningful agenda. And since this directorate was to function, the post of Director General was advertised somewhere.
First ever Director General.
Yep, somewhere in, I think, May 2020. and I also read that advertisement, and I applied.
It coincided with
Because
your
it
PhD
somehow
thesis.
coincided with my research. So there were something like 21 PhDs who appeared for the interview before the panel, and very interestingly, mine was the only PhD which was related to this subject.
Oh, okay.
It was the only PhD, and so far, let me say it again, that this is the only PhD in the world so far on this subject.
You are the only PhD in this subject in the whole wide
In
world?
the whole world so far.
Wow. Awesome.
And I was picked up, and I took it as a blessing, in fact, that I need to contribute.
And as a challenge.
As a challenge also, obviously. And there are very few occasions where actually you dream and you see with your own eyes a dream coming true.
Wow.
So otherwise this PhD could have gone waste. I would have been maybe dean of some faculty
teaching somewhere,
or teaching somewhere. But actually this PhD could be put to use only and only in this directorate. And that happened.
And what timing? You completed your PhD and this.
And
this
thereafter, after a few months, you know, I happened to take over as DG. The mandate of this directorate is very heavy, but very purposeful, very practical. The first is that we need to register all madaris of Pakistan. There are approximately around 30,000 madaris as per our record, official record. But as per my research, there are around 40,000, or maybe little more than that, because there are few areas where our officials have never been able to reach.
Till now?
Where I went during part of my research and during my employment as a soldier, and I knew that there are madrasas. There were areas which were terrorism stricken. The madrasas there are never on record. So the first task of this directorate is to register all madaris in Pakistan with the Federal Ministry of Education.
And is there a timeline for that?
And the overall timeline is 5 years for this project. We are 2 years now down the line, and we have been able to register, as of today, as we talk to each other, 14,754 madaris have been registered with us. So we are almost 50% through in just 2 years' time.
And what does registration entail? What does it mean if you are registered?
We have a set pro forma of registration. This directorate has its 16 regional offices all over Pakistan and 132 districts in which we have our representatives all over Pakistan. So the regional offices actually, they visit the madrasa, get the details, how many students, which masjid they belong to, what are they teaching, what are the facilities that they have, where is it located, who is its muhtamam, which wafat are they aligned with. So all these details are filled in a form, and then the madrasa gets itself registered with us. We provide them a certificate of registration signed by me, which goes to the registered madaris.
Okay. And what are the benefits of being registered?
That I will come
Okay.
later, and I will give you all the details. That is the first mandate, to register. The second was that we will provide, the Ministry of Federal Education will provide 2 teachers per madrasa
Okay.
to teach contemporary subjects to the students.
Okay.
The contemporary subjects that include English, maths, and general sciences.
Okay.
These are those subjects which are otherwise not taught in Dars-e Nizami.
Okay.
They are over and above Dars-e Nizami.
So for each madrasa, you will provide two
Two
teachers,
teachers.
government teachers.
Government teachers, they enrolled with by the madrasa, but their registration, their record is placed with us,
Fair
or
enough.
you can say with the Ministry of Federal Education.
So,
And Ministry of Federal Education provides them pay.
okay. Okay, those two teachers.
Those two teachers. And then we would also provide them the books of National Curriculum Council. Now our National Curriculum Council has already prepared books from class 1 to 5,
Okay.
and then from 6 to 8. From other higher classes, the process is still on.
Ah.
So we provide free books to the madrasas
For those
for
students.
those contemporary subjects.
And on average, how many students are there in a madrasa?
It varies. In few madrasas there are 200, in bigger madrasas there are even 2000 or beyond.
Okay.
So it varies from the size of the madrasa.
200 to 2000.
It varies from the size, from madrasa to madrasa.
And they're usually live-in facilities, right? They have.
Yes, they have boarding facilities,
Boarding, lodging.
their lodging facilities, all the things they are in the madrasa, in most of the cases.
Yep.
There are madrasas where there are only day scholars, but in most of the madrasas, because madrasa education actually is for those people who are bit low strata of society or living in far-flung areas where there is dearth of government institutions, so people send their children to madrasa as a limitation. Now you will also see certain madrasas in the bigger cities like Karachi, Lahore, but their students, they come from backward areas, most of them, those who cannot afford education. So they send their children to madrasa where it's an excellent social service, I would say. They provide education, they provide clothing, boarding, lodging, everything free of cost.
It's a very good model.
It's
if
a
you
very
look at
good
it.
model actually. It's a very good model
To groom
of
a
welfare.
child. Yeah, yeah.
The only thing lacking was that we needed to bridge the gap between religious education and contemporary education.
And diversify it, basically.
And diversify it and provide better opportunities to the students. You know, if we go back before 1857, madrasa was the only education institution
Yeah.
which proved scientists, engineers,
Yeah.
people from all fields of life.
Yeah.
But thereafter, these two streams started. The contemporary education got separated from madrasa, and madrasa got focused only on religious education. But we are trying to bridge that gap and make this excellent social welfare system more useful to the society. So the second thing was teachers, provision of books, and then vocational training to those students who cannot or who do not want to study further.
They can
They
get
could
rid of-
have some skill sets and become, plumber, electrician,
That's an excellent initiative.
computer operator, machine operator, etc.
And what are you doing for that? Like, are you giving teachers for that vocational training also?
That is given by the NAVTEC.
NAVTEC.
NAVTEC
For every
is-
madrasa, they have two teachers like yours?
No, they have their own system.
Okay.
They give their training for 6 months
Okay.
and train the students on various skill sets and then withdraw. The lab is established by them. So we have identified so far 70 madrasas for that. That initiative is still in the pipeline. Then students of foreign countries, they face a lot of problems, provisioning of visas, extension of visas. So this directorate also facilitates in provisioning of visas, etc. There was a major problem of opening of accounts of madrasas, so we are facilitating them in opening of accounts also. So far, I mentioned earlier that we have registered 14,754 madrasas, provided 1,196 teachers, issued books to 20 madaris free of cost, and books now under printing. We'll be issuing it to more madaris because the National Book Foundation is printing those, and according to our national curriculum which is devised, we'll be issuing the free books. There is yet another very good initiative that this directorate is taking, that is organization of programs on Pagham-e-Pakistan. Because at this time our nation is polarized in many ways. Religious polarization,
Fragmented.
political polarization, economic polarization, educational polarization. So there is a need to create unity amongst our nation, which is most important aspect. So we are organizing Pagham-e-Pakistan session, where we invite members of the society from all walks of life and from all religions, all sects, and we project only one theme, and that is Pakistan, number one. We all are Pakistanis.
Our identity is Pakistan. We are
identity
what we
is
are because of Pakistan.
So a great stride is being made in this direction by this very directorate to convey the message of Pagham-e-Pakistan, which you know is a document which was signed in 2018, I think January 2018, on which more than 259, if I'm not wrong, the greatest ulamas of this country, they signed, and more than 5,000 scholars from all walks of life, they endorsed that Pagham, which actually speaks of unity amongst Pakistanis, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, ethnicity, etc., etc. So we are contributing in a big way in that direction also. We had a program recently in Karachi where Governor Sindh, he was chief guest. He made a speech. We also invited the chief minister. He attended one of the sessions. We also had last month in Lahore, in Iwan-e Iqbal.
Where, so you're doing it in all provincial capitals?
All provincial capitals, all big cities of Pakistan. So in 2 years' time, 8 major events have been organized by this directorate. We also organize teachers training of those teachers which are imparting contemporary education to madrasa students, teaching them modern techniques in collaboration with National Curriculum Council and other experts in the field. So it's a big task that this directorate is doing. Hopefully, I'm very positive, optimistic about this, that given the required resources that we need, that is provision of teachers, books, etc., hopefully in the given timeline, that's around 5 years' time, if we are able to even register with us something like 75% to 80% madaris of Pakistan, we shall be able to bring about major reforms in madaris, and our madrasa students will be able to appear in the regional boards, get FSc degree, get BSc degree, become engineers, become doctors, or whatever they want. In whatever field of life they choose for themselves, they will be able to.
So this is the goal, basically.
That is the ultimate objective. Because we don't want to create only ulamas. We have enough of them in the country, alhamdulillah. We need people who have very good understanding of our religion, as well as they become useful members of the society as doctors, engineers, etc., etc.
And I think that is one major way of contributing to the society, to the economy also, because as you said initially, sir, that one of the major reasons for people sending their kids to madrasas is economic disparity. Because probably they cannot afford that private education or even afford sending them to the government schools, so they send them to the nearby madrasas. So if those kids grow up and contribute to the economy, become self-sufficient, then obviously they would want to, they would be contributing directly to the economy of Pakistan.
Definitely, definitely. They will bring about a change actually in the society. We always talk about youth bulge. We have a lot of youth in Pakistan.
More than 68%.
We also talk of out of school children. There are so many of them which have not yet joined the school. But if people think or people find that madrasa education system is as good as the public sector education system or the private sector education system, there will be more attraction for madaris. And then over and above, we will have a better product which is not only educated in contemporary subjects, but which have got in-depth religious education also. So
that's a plus.
That's a plus that you have a better motivated Muslim, a better motivated Pakistani, a better educated Pakistani, and they all will contribute to the unity factor. This polarization would end. Our economy will
grow.
improve,
Yeah,
definitely grow, because those who cannot get higher education, at least those students will have some skill sets.
Skill sets
That we badly need, you know. Our people, those who go abroad, mostly they are the skilled laborers.
Yep.
So if we can produce skilled laborers, even that will be contributing a lot
and
to our
qualified
economy.
skilled laborers who have that certification, because
Yep.
you know there are a lot of skilled people but they don't have the certification. That's why they cannot get good jobs. So basically what I understand, Jalsab, is that you are trying to bring this unregulated, unregistered sector, a major sector, into regularized sector.
Yep.
Basically you're
Yes,
trying to
yes.
join the stream.
That and bridge the gap
Okay.
between religious education and contemporary education,
Okay.
and thirdly produce more useful members of the society
who can contribute to Pakistan's growth. So tell me, sir, what are the benefits of a madrasa being registered? Why should, if I am running a madrasa, why should I get myself registered? What benefit will it bring to me?
First of all, it gets recognition.
Okay.
It gets recognition with the federal government,
Officially,
official.
official level. Okay.
Second, they get teachers whom they don't have to pay, and their children, the madrasa students, they get contemporary education, free books, nowhere you can give free books, free teachers, and then those problems related to their accounts,
Yeah.
finances,
Yeah.
they can be addressed. Above all, I would say there are misperceptions about madaris
Yes.
sometimes,
Yes.
that they create radicals.
Yes.
Sometimes there are misperceptions with the maybe our intelligentsia, that you know they are living in a cocoon.
It's a
They are
generic misperception.
generic misperception. Those misperceptions will get alleviated automatically once they get registered. That okay, we are like open book. We are here with the federal government. The people come and go, they visit us. I go to various madaris and I see no harm. It's just a misperception.
Okay.
Because I meet those boys, I meet their faculties. They are so very well read people and very moderate people as well. But the perception is different.
Yes.
But once you get them registered, it's perception about madrasa that will change.
Great.
That is the major impact actually.
Absolutely, and this is an
And then
amazing-
the government has the data. The government also gets benefited in a way that there is a stream of education about which we don't know anything.
and it is getting regulated.
That is being regulated and we have the data available to us. There are international agencies who doubt our madrasa system. We can always justify our position to them that look, these are registered institutions and these are welfare organizations who are doing a great favor to this nation. A poor nation which otherwise cannot afford education system, look, these are the people who are contributing.
Great.
So
This is an
at
excellent
national
initiative.
level, at international level, it's changing perceptions.
Great, great. So excellent initiative, as I said, and I think much needed, although it's a bit late, but better late than never. So tell me, did you face any teething issues or any problems initially while doing this, implementing this agenda?
Yes, that was again about perception. The first perception about myself, that probably the army is taking over madrasas. I had to tell people, I'm a doctor and I have researched. I have got sort of passion to reform madrasas. I have got passion to teach. I'm not only a retired general. I have fought enough, done enough as a soldier. I am an academic now. So first of all was that challenge to get myself accepted as an
Acceptance
academic.
was the first challenge, okay.
The second was that convince wafaks, convince madaris that we are for you. There were earlier 5 wafaks only. Now there are 15. And those 15 are willingly registering themselves with us. their madaris are willingly registering themselves with us because this has an appeal. Earlier, they thought probably this directorate or the federal government is intruding into their domain. Later, they
Previously,
realized
they were operating independently, and now they have.
Oh, yes.
They are being regulated.
And now, probably they feel, as our perception has changed, their perception has also changed, that they are facilitating us. There is nothing like intrusion, there is nothing like control. The religious education is functioning as it was functioning earlier. We do not give them any direction as far as that is concerned because it is their subject and they are the experts.
So the SOPs continue as they were. You've just introduced the two teachers and the diversification in the education system.
And that's about also. Actually, perception was a difficult challenge to change. And I think we have made a great stride in that direction. We have achieved enough. There is a better relationship now. There is a better understanding of the reforms agenda. And I feel, inshallah, this initiative will succeed. Yes, some economic issues. We know our economy overall, the situation is not all that good. But as it improves, we will be able to provide more teachers, more free books, provide other facilities like computer labs, etc., as the economic situation
to
improves.
bring them to par. Great, that's awesome. Sir, if I understand correct, any new madrasa which is to be opened or has to open has to get itself registered.
Yes.
And the existing ones, you are in the process of bringing them in that
into the
fold.
loop. Yes.
Great. This is excellent. I think very much needed. And I think we've got the right man for the right job. You've done your thesis in that, and you're the only one in the world who's done that thesis. That's an amazing achievement itself. So tell me one thing. There was a lot of talk on single national curriculum, SNC. So is that in any way related to the madrasas also, or does that go for private and public education only?
No, we are introducing the same books
books.
National Curriculum Council. So actually we are operating hand in glove. The books that are being issued to madaris on contemporary subjects are from the National Curriculum Council, NCC.
Wow.
We are introducing the national curriculum to the madaris.
Great.
And the books are being published by the National Book Foundation.
And the same books are being...
Exactly. Even the teachers' training is being done by the National Curriculum Council because they have the experts to teach those subjects also.
Amazing. Sir Qamar, there's a lot that I want to talk about, but there's paucity of time. But before we, bring this program to a close, anything you'd like to say to the youth of Pakistan who are listening to you? You're an inspiration for a lot of your students, including myself. But is there any specific message that you'd like to give to the youth of Pakistan?
I would like to give only one message. अपने मन में डूब के पाजा सुरागे जिंदगी तू अगर मेरा नहीं बनता न बन अपना तो बन. They need to realize their potential. This country has a great potential. This nation has a great potential. Our youth has great potential. But the only thing is they need to believe in themselves that they can do what they can think.
Oh, wow.
So
you need to believe in yourself.
They have to think big.
Think big. Thank you so very much, sir. Such an honor, and thank you for
spending time. It's been a pleasure to have you here.
Same here,
Thanks
sir.
a lot.
Same here. Viewers, this was Major General Retired Dr. Ghulam Qamar. I hope you enjoyed the conversation that we had with him. Inshallah ta'ala, I'll be back with another exciting episode of Sky is the Limit. Till then, Allah Hafiz.